everything comes into this pit first.
Okay, so this is the septic tank.
Yeah, this is the septic tank. Comes through that, through the foul drain into there. This is just rodding wires, both sides. Okay, so if you get a blockage in this part of the drain here, and it's backing up in the system, the first thing to do is to come along with a 4-inch plunger, plunge down through there.
Okay.
Because any blockage that's in the pipe, it'll force it down to the bottom. So this is just your primary separation tank more than anything else. In this case, what they've done is by taking the baffle out and putting this system in, they've turned it into a cesspool to a degree. But it's a cesspool with an outlet, so it's just a bulk storage tank.
Okay, okay.
From here, it runs off through that pipe there into here, and this pipe, you can just about see it right down the bottom there. It's about a foot to 18 inches above the water level.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the inlet pipe from the septic tank.
And that only lets when the septic tank is at a certain height, or so there's not like a trickle.
There's about a 50 to fall across that tank between the inlet and the outlet. So it will run this way.
So the solids are left behind?
Yeah.
And it just dribbles in the,
it dribbles into here. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm with you.
say for instance that nice man there that's gone to Australia discharges a 20 litre bath of water. 20 litres comes into there, 20 litres passes into here.
Right, I'm with you.
The pumps, you've got 2 pumps down here, 2 effluent pumps. They pump it from here through that pipe that's at high level, out through into that tank.
Okay.
No, from there, as I say, it now runs through a 4-inch pipe, and as you can see, that 4-inch pipe there is at an angle.
Yes.
One of the problems was, as I say, it wasn't actually getting into this tank. Yeah, it's only liquid into here. What you have now got, because of this new baffle arrangement that you've got in that outlet pipe, is that you're going to get quite a bit of solid coming through into here as well. Which isn't a problem because it's designed to take solids.
Okay, good.
So the solid remains in the outer tank. The outer tank, you can see it sweeping around here like this with the 2 portholes. That would be the primary tank for the biodisc.
So that's all of this,
And this is solids, yeah?
all the stuff on the outside, yeah, is the primary tank.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So this is like a tank within a tank, is it, Martyn?
Yeah, so the outer tank goes underneath the centre section, and that would be your bulk storage tank. So as you can see, there's a slight build-up of crust over there.
Yeah.
There's going to be a small build-up of sludge in the bottom. The only way that the water gets from here on the outer tank into this one is that there's a hole in the bottom of this one, a 4-inch hole, which so it comes up through the bottom. The idea of that is that the crust on the top and the sludge in the bottom stays there, and all it's doing is it's just taking effluent into this section with suspended solids in it. Once it comes up through there, the only way really that it gets from there to that section is through these buckets. So at the moment it's not doing it properly because there's a cap that's come off the bottom one of the buckets. But ordinarily you would get 2 litres of water going forwards into this section. So
This is the outer bit, what is everything once a year?
yeah.
Crust.
So that's the primary pack for treatment. Anything, if this was a conventional system with just this working, biomass builds up on that pack, and then all biomasses is good and bad bacteria. So the good bacteria, don't know why, get me a chemist, they would explain it, attaches itself to the discs. The good bacteria eats the bad bacteria. By rights, all you're left with is water.
Okay.
Okay, so because there's always suspended solids in the water, as I say, that gets bucketed from there across to here. You get a secondary treatment occurring on this pack, and the actual graduation going across the two packs will actually go from, in this case, light to next to nothing. It's not unusual to find that pack beige or white, creamy coloured, as long as this one's chocolatey brown. And what you're ultimately looking for is a chocolatey brown colour.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we look alright here, do we? So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. If for any reason, and you shouldn't buy right to get it, so again, if this was a conventional system and you've got a sudden surge of water coming in through that inlet, it will actually allow for that and it will flow over the top. So it bypasses, because the baffle's lower than the actual top part of the casing. It will actually flow over and then in effect flow through this and then out.
So in terms of level of the water that we've got, 'cause it all looks very even.
Yeah.
From what you were saying, sort of aspects. I'd expect this side to be higher than this side.
No, what you would get is that, okay, sort of this time of day, or 10:30, something like that, this is at its normal sort of working level.
Right.
If you were to come out here at say 2:30 in the morning, lift the lid, have a look at it, this might be a foot lower than it is now.
Okay.
So you've got a foot working level.
Yeah.
And that's because everyone's in bed and no one's using any water basically.
And this is on a continuous cycle, Martyn?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going.
So the emptying of the Klargester is
Yeah.
only to remove that sludge that you said was building up
crust
at
and
the
sludge.
bottom of it.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's,
why that's only once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'd come along, they'd skim the crust off the top.
Yep.
So you've got nothing here. They'd skim that side over there. They'd skim the final settlement tank.
Yep.
And then they drop their pipe down into the bottom and try and draw the sludge.
Right.
In theory, it works really well.
Okay.
In practice, it doesn't, because water's lighter than sludge.
Yeah.
So they just end up drawing the
no
water.
water.
Hopefully, if they've done it properly, then there's going to be a level of sludge that gets drawn up into the pipe as well. And then they do the same over this side.
Okay.
The only thing to beware of, and this might be a good idea for one of you to be here during an empty of this, is that they keep the water level between here and here within a foot of one another,
Okay.
because otherwise it can cause deflection on that baffle going around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
From here, so that section there with that water level and the final settlement tank, that will stay the same level regardless, unless there's a blockage in that outlet.
Yeah.
If that ever gets blocked up, then this level will rise, that level will rise, and then it starts backing up into the system.
Yeah.
The only way that that water level gets from there into here is through that transfer pipe. By rights, it can't or it shouldn't fill right up to the top and then spill over the top.
Yeah.
And then, as I say, this is final settlement tank. Still get another separation going on in there. So, like you can see at the moment, there's crust here, a sludge in the bottom, but not as much as what you've got in the primary. And then the water from there goes out through that outlet. There's a junction dip pipe. So it might be crushed going out. And again, it might be suspended solids in the effluent, but it would be very, very trace.
And that just goes out.
It's a
Yeah,
circle,
so
it's
for
circle way.
instance,
Yeah.
so for instance, you get 20 litres coming in here, 20 litres will be pushed out the other side.
And it goes uphill.
I think it runs round over that side.
Okay.
So is that in like a French drain or? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big area.
First thing you'll notice when there's a major problem, like for instance, then you get that.
So that's what comes on over here now. No.
No, just a red light on the front of this panel. Okay, so
that's on the float switch.
yeah, and that's for the high level flow. Well, coming in a minute.
So we should, if we've got a smell or something, somebody needs to
Come and
take
check,
over the
yeah.
fence to see whether the red lights are. Okay, I didn't know that
But if
either.
we're cleaning off this,
Yeah.
we'll be
Just check that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got two pumps down there, both are working at the moment.
Those are quite new, aren't they? We put
Yeah.
those in a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Right, to get it through.
There's the idea that the ones are backup for the others.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
doors are, and that's happened before.
So you've got one on duty at any one time, and then one on standby, and then they alternate, and there's a changeover relay inside the panel. There is in this panel, so down here,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work for some reason on auto, it is possible to switch them over onto hand.
Yes. And that's
But-
what Karen and I did.
Do be here watching the level in that tank.
Yeah, and that's what we didn't do.
Because and I think that was the problem. It
Yeah.
sucked it down to next to nothing, and then actually burnt the pump out.
Yeah.
And the idea of those pumps is that they're meant to be underneath the water, you know, because of heat.
Yeah.
So it keeps
So
them nice and
taking
cool.
it to hand, is that a manual operation then, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ordinarily, this is the isolator switch. So this is what I did when I first came here. I turned that off to allow that to build up in there. To get it to run, turn that on to
Yeah.
on.
Those are the two
These are
pumps.
the hand auto switches at the bottom. Turns on both pumps.
Okay.
Up here you've got overloads. These are quite interesting. They're both set to 4 amps. If for some reason one of the pumps should get blocked up, and then it starts on its duty,
It'll just trip.
and that just trips out.
Okay.
Okay, so best thing to do if you've had a power cut or you've got problems here, come along, make sure that both of those, right, and there'll be an indication on the front to show that it's tripped.
Okay.
Okay, just come in, turn those
Reset
back
down.
on to 1, trip lights go out, and then as a test,
Manual. Yep.
and the same again on that one.
Perfect.
Sometimes what you might get
Electrics or something.
is you'll reset the overload, and then within maybe half a minute to a minute it'll blow again, and that's normally because the pump's blocked. Fortunately now, with your resident engineer and his handy gloves, all he needs to do is now, years ago you used to have to lean over the top and then undo those socket unions that are down there about a foot below ground. Now, because we've changed it, you can just undo them here.
Oh, perfect. So you literally just take
So undo it. Yeah.
What about the
Take the cable tie off,
Yeah.
and then you can just lift the whole pump out.
so the cleaning of that filter? I'm assuming just clean it over the.
Yeah, you can clean it over the top so it goes going on the grass.
Okay.
And you got that out just by unscrewing it?
No, just pull
Just
it
pull,
out.
just pull it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
bit like this end, you see. It's a bit like your drain rod end. So you've got a rubber flap on here. Right.
Actually, is it worth cleaning it over something? I'm just thinking because if it is blocked, it might be blocked with something like that.
Yeah,
and you
it
don't really
doesn't
wanna
matter
put
if it
back
gets
in.
Straight back in again to get blocked again.
Well, if it gets cleaned over the top, in this case, it's going to fall down on top of that crust.
Yeah.
When they come to empty the crust
Oh,
out,
yes, okay.
they're going to
Okay.
be emptying
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of this as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.